morning from New York. It's your American mystic, Mitch. How are you? I have a subject today, inner mirroring, and the empathetic awareness revolution in society where we're gaining a greater morality around the world. So let me condense that. The central thing that I'm talking about is the giving and the receiving of love, which means meeting human need efficiently and with the least amount of trauma. So this is the big enemy of humanity is anxiety, and that's what we get when we're enmeshed in our drama. And what helps that drama is our forms of empathy, which are ways of giving love. Compassionate empathy, creative empathy, and objective empathy. Within yourself, there's an inner mirroring you can do, but this applies to reality itself. You don't see reality, as I mentioned in another video. You see how you imagine it to be. Well, mirroring between the part of yourself that's in the drama and more reflective or aware perspectives helps with the flow of love, with the giving and the receiving of love. Now, to some people, they're going to get that immediately. Some people wonder, what in the world is he talking about? I'm going to try to be as clear on this subject as I can be. Let me cite some problems of the past where we had not evolved empathetically. The consideration that children and women were the property of the males in the society. So that is a devaluation of children and women. That's not very empathetic. It's not particularly objective, nor is it creative, nor is it compassionate. These are the moral foundations of humanity, from compassion, goodness, from objectivity, truth, and from creativity, art, or artfulness. This ability to be creative with our play, our experiences, looking at things from a number of different perspectives and integrating those things in a good way. That's truly creative. So that example is an example of how we have evolved. Now there are children's rights. Now women are seen as equals to men. they're different, they have different needs, but they're equally respected, and let's just say loved, perhaps. Yeah, that's a little better, right? You got to say that in the past, it was pretty horrendous, what people would do. Um, there was in one holy book, I won't say which one. It was okay to stone your child to death outside the city limits for that child having cussed you out, oh, wow, stone them to death. Well, and there are other ridiculously evil kind of things that humanity has done. I mean, they thought children were grown. Well, real personal growth and whatever doesn't happen without empathy and awareness. So that shows in how society has evolved from less empathetic and aware to more empathetic and aware. And 12-year-old kids considered grown-ups in some way. They could marry. There are even some states today, that are backward. I mean, with parental permission, ownership again. You could marry your daughter off. She at 14. Oh my God. Again, empathy properly practiced could help fix that. And empathy is something that you grow in, okay? That's something you can grow in. And it's, when you hear people, this in politics talking about going to the past for greater morality, well, it's true that we've increased our ability to destroy one another exponentially and existentially. But we're actually less violent than we were in the past. There was, in the beginning, warfare was conducted and just total genocide. You go and you just wipe everybody out, raping and pillaging as you go. Yeah. And that's why this channel is not for children, okay? If you're a kid, stop watching this. Talk to your parents. They can watch it and filter it for you. Boy, is that patronizing, right? Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was a kid once. I was very curious. That's something parents have to deal with every day. Curiosity can get you in so much trouble, and the internet is just like a open field for that kind of dangerous play. And curiosity, which is a good thing. It's good to be curious, but we have to filter the world around us. This is one thing that needs to be understood. And we have to filter that world according to how we feel and what we need and what the people around us need and feel. So it's a process of integration and slow growth. If people start talking about moving things quickly, be cautious. So that's kind of how we've evolved. We've got some people who cling a little bit to the past just in case we're getting a little too out there. And then we have people who are saying, "Hey, we gotta have some growth here. We've got to increase our empathetic awareness." Good. And that kind of conversation, that mirroring back and forth, is how we arrive at the kind of growth that we can handle. And it takes time. Hopefully we will do well enough that we don't cause our species to go extinct. This is the evolution of morality in our society. You know, it's many wonderful examples now of how things are beginning to improve. And the other part of that evolution is to understand how unique and actually valuable each human being is, and each life form is. It's all very important. And you talk about prejudices. That's maybe one of the last things to fall, perhaps. But prejudice is this anxiety over anybody else being different. But if you really apply objectivity, creativity, and compassion in sensitive ways, you snap out of that and be able to accept a greater diversity and understand that as the norm, which it actually is. No two people are exactly the same. Would you want to live in a society where everybody looked and talked just exactly like you do? Yeah, all your kids too. They just don't look like you. I mean, exactly like you. And everybody else, just exactly like you. What a boring, ugly world that would be. No matter how beautiful you might be have a beautiful face, not like my clown face. Clowns have value. So anyway, so you got to. This is the mirroring that goes on. It's because when you're talking outside of yourself, you're still working from mirrors inside, one perspective interacting with another. There's a mutual interaction. That's what I mean by the mirroring. A mirror of a mirror of a mirror. All of that is exactly, I think, what propelled the development of the human brain and brains in general. And I believe that's what consciousness is. It's a kind of feedback loop, and gives us the sense that we are aware and we are conscious. And I know what I know, and I know what I did, and I know what I'm going to do. But think about that limited kind of awareness for a minute. Who is you? That's a good question. You have an ego concept, of course, which enables you in some ways and inhibits you in some ways. That needs to be flexible and more embracing of greater differences in your perspectives and your views and so on. Letting them all have a little voice. And yeah. So the very thing that we prize most to be aware and conscious to be what we think of as alive is a feedback loop. And we're part of the loop. There is no distinct subject and object in any of the things that we engage in, because everything is interactive. I think with my vague understanding of quantum mechanics, things interact. To measure something interacts. So, and what we see are these interactions, and we think of ourselves as outside of those interactions, and we're not. You know, that's the thing. We never will be. Which is, oh, that cuts into objectivity. Well, to some extent, but we're still able to have enough objectivity to have concepts that predict things we'll find about the past and find about the future. You know, what happens with this experiment. You know, if I put this theory to the test, what does it predict? So a theory that doesn't predict is not worth anything. And so we're kind of time locked. But is there reality beyond time, outside of time? Probably. But would we know? And how would we know? There's the question. I wonder if it's possible at all. But so part of that evolution is that ability to see yourself as many and not just one. You know, you're different when you're hungry than when you're not. Your own mood's different. You're more generous and giving after you've eaten. You know, they've studied this, okay? Not just bringing this to you, you know, without having listened to really smart people who researched it. There's even a question about free will, but that may be a subject that just is on the edge of our ability to ever understand. So, what I'm saying here is that empathetic awareness has grown us. Now, whispers of that empathetic awareness in religion have been the mystics who step outside of, you know, the written prescriptions of their religion and look for direct experience. And that direct experience has to do with an inner mirroring, an inner mind mirroring, or communication. Because the mirroring is a communication. Okay? Things are mirroring back and forth. And where's the essential reality there? Is there an essential reality that we can name? I don't know. We've tried chopping things up into bits and looking at things far away and bigger. And that helps. And but we haven't found a theory that covers both. Fascinating. But that's part of the evolution, is to see things from many different perspectives. That's creativity. To be more compassionate, more embracing of differences, a sense of one human family, which I think the internet is helping with a little bit. And hopefully. And objectivity, clearer, more reliable guesses about reality. And so here you have this inner mind communication, the philosophy, and it's about empathetic awareness, and it's about the evolution of society. More subjects to come later on, but let me close this out with a word I love to say, which to me is the ultimate mirroring. That which is I'll give my own paraphrase. That which is beyond wonder within me honors that same in you. Namaste, y'all. Have a good day.